Hey everyone, welcome back to chapter 14. Today we're talking about partitive genitive, which you can find on page 165. Okay, first thing we need to know about partitive genitive is that it expresses a part to whole relationship. So sometimes this is often called the genitive of the whole. So if you look at really old school Latin textbooks, you might see this described as genitive of the whole, or most people now call it partitive genitive. Basically what it means is that you have some of something or part of something, and the most common word that trips off a partitive genitive is the word pars, which means, of course, part. So if you have pars virorum, you have part of the men. Not all of the men, but part of the men. And so virorum here is, of course, genitive. So, and you could use that with really any noun. And so pars trips off a partitive genitive because it means part, but there are several other words that do this. I'm going to give you some examples of those words. Okay, so the word satis, which is an adverb that means enough. Okay, that trips off a partitive genitive. The word nihil, which means nothing. That trips off a partitive genitive. Plus, which means more. Okay, that one sets off a partitive genitive. Quid, which means what, can set off a partitive genitive sometimes. And then the word parum, which is the adverbial form of parvum, small. So parum means like too little, like you have too little of something. And then finally, the word nimis, which is the opposite of parum. It means too much. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples of partitive genitives here. Okay, so I can have satis aquae, and that literally means enough. And then if we translate aquae as a genitive, that means of water. But I'm going to put the of in parentheses, because in English I wouldn't say, oh, I have enough of water. I don't want any more. You know, you would say, I have enough water. So you drop the of out when you translate it into English and say enough water. Satis aquae. If we were to use nihil, okay, nihil, let's say nihil kibi. Okay, literally nothing of food. That still doesn't really make great English. Nothing food, no. So we would say no food. Okay, so nihil kibi, nothing of food, but a better translation in English would be no food. Plus, okay, here's an example with plus. Plus pecuniae. Okay, so more, and again, literally of money. But again, we wouldn't say of in English when we translate that. So we just say more money. Plus pecuniae, partitive genitive. Quid, when you use quid, quid often goes with the adjective novi, kind of used as a substantive in the genitive singular. And this means what's new. It's kind of more of a slang way of saying hello in Latin, or kind of like what's going on, or you know, you might say like what's up. But yeah, quid novi, what's new. And finally, nimis, nimis sanguinis, to use a third declension genitive. So too much of blood, or too much blood. Okay, so you can use third declension words to express partitive genitive. Any word in the genitive case can work. These are all interchangeable. Of course, you could have too much money. You could say nimis pecuniae. You could say satis pecuniae or nihil kibi. So they're all interchangeable. You can use any of those words that set off the partitive genitive with any noun. And just one quick thing about two adjectives. So the adjectives omnis, meaning all, and medius, meaning middle of, and all of, these do not take a partitive genitive. So, for instance, I would say omnes homines, and that would be all of the men, or all of the people. Or you could just say all the people, but still, so this of the men would not be genitive. So omnis expresses its partitive naturally without a genitive. Or if I said in media via, in the middle of the road. And notice how I didn't make road genitive, even though in English I said of the road. So because medius expresses the partitive idea naturally. Okay, so just if you were to have an English sentence and you had all or middle and you were translating it into Latin, this of is expressed naturally within the adjective. You don't need the genitive case for these two words. Okay, and that's all for this talk, and thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.